Well, good morning to you, or afternoon, depending on when you're watching this video. So I had a thought. I was out here feeding animals, and you guys want to go to market with me today? That sounds like fun, right? Let's go get set up, get our coolers loaded up, get the truck loaded, and we'll take you to Pendleton Farmers Market, and I'll show you what that market looks like today. Let's go. So usually that takes me right around 30 minutes or so to get all my coolers loaded up, kind of get my inventory wrote down as to what I'm taking with me that day, and then get the back of the truck loaded at the same time. I do load coolers a little differently just based on how hot it's going to be that day or how cool. This is going to be a little cooler market, so I didn't feel like I needed to bring as many ice packs with me today. Meanwhile, the wife's usually inside. She's getting lunches ready to go because the kids like to go down and play at the park while we're there. And then from time to time, my wife will come down there and relieve me so that I can walk around the market and stretch my legs. So we are loaded up and ready to hit the road. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the family. We'll get on the road and get to the market, get this thing set up. We're trying something a little different this time. We got this new freezer we haven't used yet before. We're going to leave that in the back of the truck. It's kind of our overstock, which means we're taking a few less coolers this time around. It's not as hot today as it has been in the past. I still want to try this freezer out, see how it's going to work out for me. That's everything we take to market. Let's go and get on the road. So we generally pull into the market just a little bit after 8 o'clock in the morning. We've got from 7 to 8:45 to get here. After that, they shut down the road and no vehicles are allowed in until after the market is over. There's only one way into this market and one way out. So once we drive in here, we park in our spot and then we set up our booth right behind where we park our vehicle. We're actually down here by the falls, which is really neat because behind us is where the falls and the creek are and run through and you can hear that water the whole day. And then in front of us is a pond. So I've got that view as well while I'm working the booth during the day. And once we get pulled in here, it's all hands on deck, getting everything set up and going. Once we get everything kind of set up, we kind of hang out till market starts right there about 9 o'clock. By then, the kids are usually wanting to walk around and see stuff or go to the park and play. So Erin will take them down there and let them do that for a while. And then she'll come down and relieve me from time to time so I can walk around as well and kind of stretch my legs. But we've kind of got this thing down to a system. It doesn't take us much more than about 30 minutes to get things set up. Shortly after that, 9 o'clock rolls around, the market opens, and we start getting some traffic. This day was a little bit slower. I think people were just kind of slow to get out of bed because of the 4th of July and everybody's out late doing different activities. But it did pick up as the day went. As you sit here and watch, you'll notice just how many people bring their dogs out for a walk as well. That's huge. It's a really nice market, very family oriented, and everybody brings their pets out for the day and kind of enjoys the weather. Of course, that also means that my kids feel the need to have to pet every single dog that comes through. So that's usually what we spend our day doing, trying to sell meat and watching the kids pet animals, and then asking for every dog that walks by as well. Well, believe it or not, the market's actually been pretty busy today. We got about 45 minutes left to market. Traffic's been really good. So I thought I'd take you guys through and show you a little bit of what this market has to offer. We've got probably 40 or 50 vendors today. I'm not sure, I didn't count. Let's take a walk here. I'll turn you around. The nice thing about this market is we've got a little bit of everything to offer. I mean, we've got everything from blankets to spices. We're the only meat vendor this year. You got doilies, you got the egg guy over here. And like I said, this market has steady traffic every single weekend. And a lot of the vendors are just now starting to get their vegetables in this time of year. We're right at the 1st of July, which in Indiana, that's pretty common for us. I think a couple weeks ago, we started seeing some vegetables show up at the market. But it's been a beautiful day for a market today. Last couple weekends were pretty hot, and we only do every other weekends. So you can kind of see what kind of traffic we've got to offer. It's just kind of a nice steady flow of people coming in and out. A lot of people were out late last night shooting fireworks off, being that this is 4th of July week. So we were actually kind of slow the first hour or so. I think a lot of people just slept in. It picked up around 10 o'clock and it's been steady ever since. So the nice thing about this market is we've got a lot of mature trees around here too. So you can see a lot of these vendors here are in the shade. Makes it a comfortable market. Folks can come and buy and they can stay out of the sun. Makes it a lot more enjoyable. And then down here where we're at, we are in a little bit more of a sun spot, but we are right on the falls. So we get to listen to the water kind of crash. It's pretty neat. And then back to our booth. Excuse me, do you have any chicken? Any chicken in stock? Is that a no? No? Okay. So here's kind of a quick glance as to what our booth looks like, at least as of right now. We've had as many as 5 coolers on the back table there. Right now we're currently just running the 3. We've got kind of each cooler set up with beef, pork, and chicken, and then what's in each cooler as well. And then you got your pricing board there in the back. And it's 12:30 now, so it's time to get everything tore back down, put back in the truck. Everybody jumps in, kind of helps out. It doesn't take us much more than about 15, 20 minutes to get this all put back in the truck and get back on the road. What's pretty awesome is a lot of us to bring our kids to the market, so all the kids run around from booth to booth and help everybody put everything back in the trucks and get everything tore down. All the kids are extremely helpful, so it makes the market really enjoyable. And just like that, we're back on the road. Let's get back home and we'll go over everything when we get there. All right, we just got everything unloaded, back from the market for the day. That's a pretty good market, believe it or not. Let's go ahead and sit down here at the workbench. I'll go over some details and thoughts on what I think about this market. If you guys are just getting started in markets and you kind of are curious about how this one's gone for me, this is my first time doing a market. I've got a few under my belt now. Or if you're curious about what kind of numbers you might see, let's go and get into that a little bit. I'll see if I can shed some light on that, at least from my perspective. So first off, like I said, this is our first year doing markets. We're doing one market this year. We picked the one that was most local to us and also kind of what we consider our community, which is the Pendleton Farmers Market here in Indiana. We've got roughly a half dozen markets under our belt now. We're an every other week vendor. We were able to pick the option between being a vendor every week, every other week, first half of the season, second half of the season, or you can do seasonal based on what it is you grow or make and the availability of your product. We chose to go every other week just to make sure we weren't overcommitting ourselves with all the other activities and things we got going on as a family. Coming into this market, we didn't really have a lot of expectations because we weren't really sure whether we were going to be the only vendor that's selling our products or not and how much traffic this market actually got. What we have found so far, at least in the markets that we've attended so far, especially on the good weather days, we have a pretty steady flow of traffic that comes through. Today, with it following just a couple days after 4th of July, we didn't see a lot of traffic right at the very beginning like we've been used to having. I think that's just probably because a lot of people were up late, setting off fireworks and having different events and whatnot. But around 10 o'clock, the market started picking up. Our market runs from 9 to 12:30 every Saturday. And from 10 o'clock on, it was a pretty steady stream of traffic. The one thing I did figure out today was it's extremely hard to both run my booth and shoot video. So I apologize if you are looking forward to more footage than what I got. I can always do a follow-up video at the market if you guys want to see that. Just leave a comment, let me know. I tried to kind of show the scenery at my market and what the market has to offer. But at the same time, too, I was trying to make sure I was at my booth to answer questions at the same time. Let me go ahead and kind of get into my numbers a little bit just to kind of tell you what I made today on this market, and I'll kind of tell you where we've been and kind of where we've come from. I still don't have a lot of expectations at this market. I think there's a lot more potential there to be able to tap into. I think the big thing right now is I'm still getting people used to when I'm actually there and what I've got available. That's another thing I've got working against me as well. I'm fully stocked on chicken right now just because of the time of year it is. On my pork, I'm a lot lower quantity, and I'm already out of certain cuts like bacon because we process in the fall once a year. That's something I'm probably going to have to look at and try to see if I can figure out, see if I can try to have a second round of pigs, maybe raise them through the winter, so I've got a spring batch going to processing as well, and that should help me with what I've got available for spring next year. The other thing working against me is beef. I don't have a lot of acreage here, so I can only raise 1 cow a year that I can take to processor. I am trying to work on other options for that, but with the availability I've got to ground and the fact that I do grass-fed, grass-finished, I want to make sure I've got good steady pasture for the cows to be able to feed on, and I just don't have any more room for an animal that big right now. So that's something we'll have to look into later on, but in the meantime, I do have mainly hamburger is what I've got to offer at the moment because I'm running out of my steaks. So with that being said, here's my numbers for today. Total sales for the day at the market in 3.5 hours was $516. That's the best day I've had at the market so far. I usually average somewhere between $3 and $450 at the market. I know a lot of you out there that have a lot bigger farms are probably going, oh my goodness, I couldn't survive on that. And that's fine, I get it. My market here, I don't think it's going to be the biggest market. We've got other markets that we think we might be able to tap into later. With the quantity of product that I've got to sell, I'm okay with those numbers right now. I'm getting my name out there. That's my big thing this year, is just trying to get brand recognition, get people used to the fact that I'm here, and try to help get people trained as to where they can get meat from if they're not wanting to source it from the grocery store every single time. I do think that being there every weekend or having someone there for me every weekend would drastically help me. At this point in time, my schedule just doesn't allow that. So keep that in mind too. If you could commit to every week through the summer or through the growing season, that's probably going to benefit you quite a bit. My most popular products today were ground beef. I sell that in 1 pound packages, and my chicken breast by far. I did have several other sales that did help out, but those were the most quantities that I sold today. Believe it or not, today was the first time I've actually probably could have sold 5 or 6 bags of chicken feed if I'd had them. I always take one with me just in case I get that one-off customer that's looking for that kind of item. It's kind of a rare item in my area. Today I probably had, like I said, 5 or 6 people ask me for that. So I'll know going forward to make sure I stock more of that for later days. And all in all, I got to guess wrong on a few quantities as well. I probably could have benefited from another $100 to $150 in sales today had I taken more product with me. That's my own fault. In past markets, I was kind of gauging on what I sell each week and what I thought I should bring. I now learned my lesson. While I don't want to bring a ton of product home, I also don't want to run out of product with 2 hours to go in market. That's one of those things I'll probably constantly be tweaking. It's amazing how different each market is and what people are looking for from time to time. I don't think I'll ever probably get that 100% right. So overall for the market today, I had right at 25 orders and I averaged around $30 an order. I think that number could be better. I know I can get that number up a little bit. But as we go with these markets, we're constantly trying new things, learning. That little portable freezer that I just bought, I don't know if you saw that in the background at all today. That thing was huge. That's going to be a game changer for us. Today wasn't overly hot, so my coolers did pretty good. But a couple of those 80, 90 degree days that we've had, especially when the humidity's high, keeping ice packs frozen and all that, we're still kind of working on that. I haven't had any issues with meat thawing yet, but that's something I am worried about in these warmer months, especially now we're starting to get into July and August coming up here. That's something I'm going to have to keep tabs on. But the idea with that freezer was to be able to swap out my ice packs throughout the day if need be. We're only there for 3.5 hours, so it's kind of nice being able to get it out before the heat of the day, in my case. And that's something else you're going to want to keep in mind, too, when you're choosing your market is what hours of the day that market runs and through what months. If it's a market that runs all day long, which I know there are some of those out there, and you're running from like 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, and you're in the heat of the day, it's not indoor and it's not climate controlled, you got to come up with ways to be able to keep your products from going bad before you get them home, get them back in your fridge or freezer. But overall, I think that's all I got for you on this one. I wanted to kind of just give you an inside look as to what it looks like with us going to market. We're still trying to figure out exactly what systems and processes work best for us. By all means, if you guys do these markets, you've got a lot more experience and you see something that we might benefit from, I'd love to hear your suggestions. There's several other farms that I found online. They're a couple steps ahead of me, and it's great to learn from each other. But other than that, I'm going to enjoy my next couple of weeks off the market. We don't go next Saturday, and we'll come back here in 2 weeks and do this all again, and hopefully we continue to grow. That's all I've got for you on this one, guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. Like always, if you've got any suggestions, feel free to leave those down in the comments. I greatly appreciate the feedback. Let me know if this video is helpful for you as well, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one.